can ask all of you to come and take your places here in the tent or outside of it. We'll be speaking to you over from here. Excuse me, I'm going to just grab that. Sorry. Thanks again. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Amy.
My wife.
Yes.
I think it may have to be brought over here. Test. No. Test. Okay, so we've had 7 stops, of course, corresponding to the idea of holiness and obviously of creation and the circle of life. In just a moment, as people will allow people to make their way, we're going to do the tearing of the ribbon. The tearing of the ribbon symbolizes the emotional tear we feel at a moment like this. So in just a moment, Rabbi Ilana Cantor will be conducting the Kriya ceremony, the tearing of the ribbon, which is of course symbolic also of the biblical tearing of clothing as a sign of grief. Oh, if I can ask, if you would please silence your cell phones, that would be great. Thank you. One of the final kindnesses we perform here in this moment is to lay to rest one of our own. So in just a moment, members of the family are going to take some soil after the casket is lowered. They're going to take some soil and put it into the grave, just the family. Then at the end of the service, anyone who would like to help us complete the covering of the through burial can join us there, and everyone, all the rest of us can all participate together at the end. That way it allows us to carry on the ceremony. So at this time, I'll ask if we could have the lowering of the casket. Al Mikoma Tavo V'Shalom. May Lisa go unto God in peace. What's the matter?
Oh, I'll get it.
Oh. Okay. I'll get them. I'm going to use this stand over because I'm going to go first and show it up. Okay, we're going to have the family members step forward. we'll use the back of the shovel as to symbolize our reticence to be here, and then take a little, and I'm going to ask Josh and Jamie if you will be the one. And as I mentioned before, we're going to proceed with our service, and then after we've formed two lines of condolence for the family, we can all return, and anyone who would like to continue with the covering the grave with the soil, we can do so. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai, Roi, Lo Echsar, Benodesha Yarbitzeni, Almei Minuchot Yanaleini, Nafshi Yeshovev Yamcheni B'magle Tzedek Laman Shemo, Gam Ki Elech Begates Almavet Lo Irara, Ki Ata Imadi, Shiftecha Mishantecha, Hema Yenachamuni, Taroch Lefanai Shocha Neged Sorarai, Dishanta Vashem and Roshi, Kosi Revaya, Achtov, Achesed Yudafuni Kol Yemei, Chayai, Veshavti Beveit Adonai, Leorech Yamim. Psalm of David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. God leads me beside the still waters. God restores my soul. God guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. L'chu vanim shimuli yirat Adonai alameitchem. Come, my children, and listen carefully. You will learn what it means to fear Adonai. Who is eager for life? Who desires years of good fortune? Guard your tongue from evil, your lips from deceitful speech. Shun evil and do good. Seek amity and pursue it. At this time, we're going to hear from family members. I'm going to call now on nephew Russell Bosian to speak at this time.
Hello, everyone. My Aunt Lisa was a unique angel of a person who dedicated her life to being there and doing things for others and bringing joy to others. She was a mom to me and was family to everyone here and to everyone watching and so many other people. And that is what Lisa brought to the world, family. She made as many people as she possibly could into her giant worldwide family. And once you were part of her family, if you needed her in any way, any sort of problem, crisis, emergency, she would do anything she could for you, anytime, any place, any way. Everyone who knew her can think of countless examples of her doing this for you and people you know and people who know people you know, and of course so many people you've never met. And that is how Lisa lives on. She leaves behind her worldwide family that she spent her life creating, and I and everyone else who was lucky enough to be a part of it will be thankful we were touched by her incredible force of life.
This time we'll hear from brother-in-law Arthur Bosian.
Put your finger under the bottom and it reinforces the pattern. That's fine. Okay.
Hi. I remember.
You're okay.
Okay. Technical problems. So my earliest remembrance of meeting Lisa was when she came to visit Dina at NYU, and she was about
They can hear you. They can hear you.
when she was about 16 years old. And in her short visit to New York City, she ended up in a newspaper because she had locked up her bicycle and walked off with the front wheel, which was new at that time. And I guess a photographer for I think it was the Village Voice, thought it was unusual for someone to do that, so she ended up in the newspaper that weekend. But Lisa made the closest friends from when she was at high school at Murray Road. This was an alternative high school. When she went on Young Judea year course, making Aliyah to Israel a year or two later. Wherever her journey was, she made lifelong friends. For a while, she came back after making Aliyah from Israel, and she lived with me and Dina in New Jersey for a while. She was the bone marrow donor for Dina when she went for a bone marrow transplant, and came out to Seattle for a while to stay there to make sure that the transplant was successful. And along with Josh is an amazing, strong connection for Russell to Dina. She was an amazing artist, writer, art therapist, trauma expert. But the thing I remember most is she could always make people laugh. It didn't matter if it was a security guard in front of a shopping center in Israel, a soldier at a checkpoint that we were crossing, or an Arab taxi driver. She would talk to them in Hebrew, and I don't know what she was saying, but everybody just started laughing. It was amazing. She was an amazing giver and a fighter for peace. Not only in Israel, she had gone to Ireland to meet with Irish militants and try to develop her own prospects for peace there. She was a pro-Zionist and was also pro-Palestinian rights in Israel. Most recently, she went after October 7th to help the victims, the survivors of that tragedy, and stayed in Eilat for a couple of months, caring for the survivors. Her last act of giving was being an organ donor. And her kidneys, her lungs, her liver were all transplanted in the last week to people that will now hopefully live on for a long life. She was full of love for family, friends, and even strangers. And what we'll miss most about her is her love.
This time, Rabbi Ilana Cantor will chant the El Maleh.
El Maleh Rachamim, Shochen B'Meromim, Hamtei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Ashchina, B'Malot Kedoshim Utorim, Kezohar Harakia Mazhirim, Et Nishmat, Lisa Sarah Bat Shlomo Dov Rivka Vela Shehalcha Liolama, B'Gan Eden Te'Menuchata, Ana Bal Harachamim, Hastireha B'Seter Knafecha Liolamim, Utzror B'Tzror Chaim Et Nishmata, Adonai Unachalata, V'tanuach b'shalom amishkava v'nomar Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure, to the soul of Lisa, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. I and others here today met Lisa when we were 5 years old in kindergarten of the Solomon Schechter Day School of Boston. Lisa had boundless energy, and she was the most fun friend you could ever have. Lisa never let limitations get in the way of doing things. She didn't have the best voice, but that never got in the way of her singing her heart out. She didn't have the best health, and sometimes she was thousands of miles away from a gathering she wanted to attend. She never let any of it get in the way of living her values, being there for family and friends who she loved. When we finished Schechter and dispersed to different schools, Lisa was the glue that held us together. She always wanted her new friends to know her old friends, and she loved bringing people together. In third grade, when I and someone that I adored were foolishly fighting with each other, Lisa wrote out a treaty that we both had to sign, pledging not to fight anymore. How could one person be such a blessing to so many people in so many places at so many different times? Especially when the world was not so kind to her. Losing her mother at age 11 and Dina when she was in her 20s, she could have looked at life with bitterness. But that was the antithesis of who Lisa chose to be. Instead, she took every opportunity to be there for people and with people. Lisa always showed up. When I was getting married and she was in Israel, no sweat, just come over. And she was back to the States so she could be there for the wedding. 40 years later, at our parents' funerals, Lisa was there. Our children's weddings, Lisa was there. And she wasn't just there. She was also usually taking on some task to help smooth over some problem in family dynamics. So much of life is really about showing up, and in that, Lisa lived life to the fullest. As a sister, a daughter, a partner, an aunt, a sister-in-law, a friend, a mother, an artist, an advocate, a Chavurah member, protector of persecuted Palestinians, poor inner city kids, or Israeli children suffering from trauma and loss. Our friend Tamar said she couldn't imagine a world without Lisa in it. And I think so many of us feel exactly the same way. For Josh, for Janie, for Hank, for Arthur, for Russell, for Lisa's extended family, really for all of us. The world is a little bit darker today than it was 8 days ago. But Lisa took care to give us all memories and pieces of art and words of wisdom that will keep her with us, even as she is no longer here. May the life and memory of Lisa Fliegel, Lisa Sarah Bat Shlomo Dov Rivka Bela, always be for a blessing. Amen.
Amen. So in case you haven't realized it, I'm going to be crying my way through the eulogy, but I have to do this because it's part of the grief on this day that I know I'm experiencing and I know many of you are experiencing. So what do we do in a world without Lisa Fliegel? Lisa had an undimmed idealism in a world drowning in cynicism. What can we do? We carry on Lisa's work in believing and hoping that the world can be a moral and beautiful place. Lisa had wonderful friends and family who supported her in every way possible, and she supported them. And I would be remiss if I did not mention Hank Rosenfield, her boyfriend and significant other. In Jewish tradition, Lisa would have been called the Lamed Vavnik. Now, I don't recall ever in the many years that I was a rabbi ever using that title for anyone. The existence of 36 righteous people is mentioned in the Talmud. There are no fewer than 36 righteous people in the world who greet the Shekhinah, God's presence, in each generation. The idea of 36 righteous people was fleshed out in later generations. It is said that at all times there were 36 special people in the world that were not for them, all of them. If even one of them was missing, the world would come to an end. The two Hebrew letters for 36 are Lamed, which is 30, and Vav, which is 6. Therefore, 36 are referred to as the Lamed Vav Tzadikim. Also, Lisa died on the 6th of Sivan, the day we received, according to tradition, we received the Torah. It would be high praise that if she was to pass, it would be on that day. Now, this will not be a eulogy that says Lisa had no faults. She did. But whatever faults she had were outweighed by the good that she performed in her life, right down to the mitzvah, the commandment of organ donation when she died. My wife Cindy had set aside a book she wanted to share with Lisa. It's an artist's picture book of Israel of different people, and the title of her book was Redefining Zionism. It was the reimagining Zionism that would have interested Lisa, and that's why my wife Cindy chose it. Lisa was a Zionist, but certainly not a nationalist. If you don't know the difference, then you can't understand the kind of Zionist she was. Zionism whose belief was in idealism, civil rights, and equality for every human being. Now, if that doesn't square with your understanding of Zionism, then you've never met the right Zionist, who Lisa Fliegel was. An artist, her work, a painting of the Negev near her beloved kibbutz Keturah, sat in our dining room over the years, bringing beauty to every celebration around our table on Shabbat and holidays. Now, we had the opportunity for 3 Schechterites, those who went to Solomon Schechter, to be together. One was myself, the other was Josh Hyatt, and the other was Ilan Simkus. She said it was a blessing to say the blessings that she learned with the people around the table. She brought holiness to every place. She was the sparks gatherer, trying to bring the world into perfection and harmony and peace with every cell of her body. She tried to make things right in the world filled with so much wrong. She was full of love, no distinctions, no matter race, gender, ethnicity, religion, color, no boundaries to that love. It was ahavat chinam. You accepted Lisa for who she was, the whole package. No one kinder, more generous than Lisa. If you know such a person in your life, then your life is blessed beyond riches. She had no children, and she had many children. She had no children, but she had many children. She worked with many children who had suffered trauma and was there almost as another parent. I want to share some of the beautiful remembrances that have been shared with me. My apologies to the ones that were left out, but we would be here for hours to read all of them. Wrote her friend, Josh Hyatt, another Schechterite. I sent a note to my niece and sent a copy to Lisa. And here's where, hi Lisa, I saw you were appearing in Princeton, so forwarded your invite to my niece who is a sophomore at Princeton. I wanted you to see the note I sent along with it, because who knows if I will have the chance to express it face to face. Here it is. Lisa Fliegel is a lifelong friend of mine from grade school, but don't hold that against her. She's a deeply empathetic person, committed to actually helping others. She's the way humans should be. In other words, she's the way humans should be, in other words. Or maybe the way we mean to be. If only we could find the time. Please make the time to go see her and meet her. Just being in her presence will inspire you. I guarantee it. Love, Josh. Her friend Carl Schwaber wrote, I visited Lisa at kibbutz Keturah near Eilat when she was living there after making Aliyah. She seemed very happy that kibbutz is connected with the Young Judea movement, and it's the kibbutz that young adults go on the movement's year course, I believe. I think Lisa's mother, Beverly, would have been so proud of the Tikkun Olam work that her daughter devoted her life to. Carl, by Baruch Dayan Emet. And again, Ilan Simkus, another childhood friend from the Schechter. Lisa lived the way she wanted to live. Bold, independent, free thinker. She was a remarkable human being. She helped so many people. She has so many zechuyot. And at this point, I'm going to let my sister read what Thaddeus Miles, a colleague and friend, wrote, because I can tell you I'll never get through it.
The easy thing would be to tell only beautiful stories. Lisa deserves more than that. She was real. There is one memory that keeps coming back to me. We were in a board meeting once, and something she thought I said lit a fire in her. And when I say a fire, I mean fire. Lisa read me up and down. We left that moment frustrated and hurt. We did not speak for weeks. Then life happened. Something difficult entered my world. I expected distance. Instead, Lisa showed up. Not with a phone call, not with a text. She came. She gave me a hug. She sat with me. She helped walk me through it. And when the storm passed, we went right back to being mad at each other. And somehow that feels like one of the truest stories I can tell about her. Because Lisa saw people, not the version we showed the world. She saw the gifts, the wounds, the difficult parts, the dreams, and the places still calling us forward. She challenged people, held them accountable, called them to purpose. Sometimes that was hard, but underneath it was love. When I first met Lisa, I thought maybe she was a dreamer. Some of her stories felt bigger than life. Over time, I realized that she was something else. She was courageous. She was willing to go into places many people were afraid to touch. Pain, trauma, loss. The places where people felt forgotten. And somehow she had a way of helping people find pieces of themselves again. Many lives are different because she chose to walk into those spaces. Lisa was amazing, not because she was perfect, because she was honest, because she cared, because she showed up, and even when she was still mad. Rest well, Lisa. You fought for people. You loved loudly. And you left your fingerprints on more hearts than you probably knew. Heart whisper. Some people leave behind comfort. Others leave behind courage. Lisa left both. And from a friend in Ireland, Pauline Denise Brown, to Janie and family. My condolences to you and all the family. I live in Dublin, Ireland. Lisa was one of my supervisors during my arts therapy studies at Lesley 20 years ago. She remained in solidarity, both trying to understand the creative process as healing in social contexts of human division, violence, and war. She took part in an international trauma conference I coordinated in Belfast in 2011. This was the last time I saw Lisa in person due to geography. Thank you so much for your sister. I have the candles lit here in gratitude for her and in mourning with you all. All my love, Colleen.
I know that Lisa is at peace, resting with her mother Beverly and father Bert and sister Dina, and will live on in the hearts of her family, brother Joshua Fliegel, sister Janie Howland, brother-in-law Arthur Bosian, nephews Russell Bosian, Davis Howland, Julian Howland. The Talmud, the Tractate of Sukkah, Mishnah 3 says the following: from the worn-out pants and belts of the priests they made wicks, and with them they kindled the lamps. And there was not a courtyard in Jerusalem that was not illuminated by the light of the Beit HaShoeva. The light from the menorah was so great that according to tradition, the menorah lit up all of Jerusalem. It was, of course, a miracle that light in one small area lit up a whole city. Lisa was our temple menorah, lighting up the world that at times is so dark. Zichrona livracha, her memory is a blessing. May she rest in peace, and let us say Amen. Everyone is invited back to Lisa Uncle Lewis's home, and of course with sharing also the home goes Gail Tanzer Torres. That's 1 Tyler Road, in Beverly, Mass. To join with the family and share. We can share our groups and reminisce together at that Shiva visitation. Shiva will continue at Janie Howland's home Friday, May 29th, Sunday, May 31st, Monday, June 1st, 10 a.m. to 12, and then 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 24 Leech Lane, Natick, Mass. And if you would rise now, we will join together for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. And there are transliteration. Let me allow those to be handed out. We can all say this together. At the conclusion of the Kaddish, I'm going to ask those who are not family will form a corridor. We'll form it on this road over here. On either side, we form a corridor. And this is to mark the transition from here at burial to the mourners becoming officially mourners. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chaye echon of yom echon u'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach li'olam me'el maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei dekucha brichu, le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who brings peace to the heavens bring peace here for us, all Israel, and all the world. And let us say, Amen.
So if you'd start to form the two lines, not the family, but if you'd start to form the two lines over on the walkway there, and then the family will be able to walk through.
Yeah, and we will offer them words of comfort. And just a reminder, after we've concluded this final ritual of the family passing through this corridor of comfort, anyone who would like to come back and help us complete the burial may do so after we've concluded, and I will say those words of comfort in just a moment. Yeah, if everybody could slide a little farther down. Yeah, slide all the way down, yeah.
Princess Counselor.
Wait.
It's weird, but it's like not weird at the same time. But like that happened, yeah, all the time. Yeah, no, that is.
I look at the cooked rugs and I'm thinking, try to go back to the house.
May God comfort you together with all who mourn in Zion and Jerusalem. Josh, if you, Janie.
Where's Janie?
Janie,
We need you. You're just gonna complete the service, and then you can come right back. Come with your family. Yep, everyone come together. we can start.
I got it. I'm all right. I'm right. I've done this before.
Good, yes. Yes. Try to get it in the,
Yeah.
in there, no,
Oh,
inside
around the side?
no,
Got
in the
it.
cement,
I got it. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
otherwise we won't complete it.
Yeah.
Rules against flower petals going in?
No.